Right, today I'm going to be talking about dopamine and addiction and how it's affecting us in our daily lives and how we can try to keep a balance. So let's get right into this. So, what is dopamine? So, dopamine is the primary neurotransmitter in our brain responsible for pleasure, motivation, and also reward. And like I said, it plays a massive part in our lives. So, say for example, you've bought a new car, and the first time you've sat inside the car, the reward, the pleasure, the satisfaction that you're getting, or a job promotion, yeah, or a new job where you've got that satisfaction, the pleasure, you're feeling really good. Or let's take an example where you're eating your favorite food, you're really liking the food, you've got that pleasure. Or you've completed a task, any other task at home, cleaning up, washing up, those kind of things. That is all dopamine. It's not a massive hit of dopamine, but it's dopamine. And you must be thinking, okay, so if I'm getting dopamine, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with getting that kind of dopamine. The problem is when you start getting involved with addictive things. So they can be drugs, whether it's nicotine, marijuana, coke, that kind of stuff, or it's gaming, or like I said, with nicotine, vaping, which can be a massive problem. So, what is the problem? So, with those other things that I mentioned regarding jobs and promotion or buying a new car, we get dopamine, but it's not too much. But with the addictive things like vaping and other drugs and addicted to games and stuff, we're getting a massive dopamine hit. So, say for example, our dopamine level is over here, and doing our normal day to day things, our dopamine level goes a bit higher, but then it comes back to the normal baseline level. But with those addictive things I mentioned, it shoots up right high, goes back down, and then comes back to its normal level, which isn't good. Which isn't good. So, although during that time you'll just be focused on playing those games or using those drugs, and it probably increases your motivation for those tasks, but for the other tasks, like those day-to-day tasks where you were getting an achievement or pleasure, you're not getting that anymore. You don't want to clean up your room, you don't want to finish off your homework, you don't want to do other stuff that you would normally do and you would get pleasure of, and you would get that dopamine. You're not getting that anymore because you want to be just focused on playing those games, or you want to be focused on just vaping or continue using your other drugs. So, what does that mean? Let me give you an example. So, say for example, the amount of dopamine that you're getting in nicotine and drugs or gaming, it's about 150 to 200% more than your baseline activity. So with those other things that you were doing, you're getting about 150 to 200% dopamine spike. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. So with the nicotine addiction, it takes over the dopamine pathway and it hijacks the reward pathway. So you're getting that dopamine without any effort, right? So if you're getting that dopamine without any effort, why on earth would you want to clean up your room, wash the dishes, hoover up the place, or complete a task that you needed to do, or read a book, yeah, or do your homework? You just don't have the motivation for that. Yeah, you don't have the motivation for that. So with all these addictive things, you're getting a big dopamine spike, and then after a short while, it drops down before going back to your baseline, dopamine baseline level. So eventually you just, even that big dopamine spike that you were getting from vaping and other drugs and gaming, you're not getting that same satisfaction anymore. Yeah, you'll have to increase it just to get that same kind of level of satisfaction. And it's not brilliant. That's when you start getting your anxiety, you're demotivated, you're getting stress and mood swings, and you're getting fatigued, you can't sleep well, you're getting all those things. Let me give you a couple of examples, because we really need a wake up call. We really need to understand how dangerous getting too much dopamine can be. So, say for example, the person who's basically smoking marijuana, okay, the amount of dopamine that person's getting from the first pull he takes from smoking marijuana is the same amount of dopamine the person who's basically gone onto social media and has uploaded their selfie and has received their very first like. That is the same amount of dopamine they are getting. It's incredible. You would never imagine that. Yeah, we're very quick to criticize drug users, but you need to understand that the amount of dopamine level somebody smoking marijuana from his first pull is the same amount of dopamine they are getting from their very first like. So it just goes to show. And how about another example I'll give you, which is that, say for example, you're playing FIFA. Everybody knows what FIFA is, yeah, the football game on the gaming console. So for playing for 10 minutes on FIFA, playing 10 minutes on FIFA, the amount of dopamine you're getting in that 10 minutes is the same amount of dopamine you're getting from smoking a box of cigarettes. That's a lot. So what can we do? What can we do to try and restore a balance and have a normal dopamine level? Now, if you're a person who's addicted to like smoking, or you're into drugs and you're really addicted to gaming and all that kind of stuff, the best thing to do is you want to restrict yourself from doing that. Okay, so completely do like a dopamine detox where you're not touching that for a certain amount of time, be it 30 days or more, and you will want to stop that, and then you want to try and continue to do the things that would give you natural dopamine. Yeah, so increase in exercise, get good sleep, do meditation, do some hobbies, eat the right food, and that will restore your dopamine to the normal level. Now, I really hope this video has been an eye-opener, and there'll be many things you can take from this video and help your children. The children are struggling, whether we can see it or not. The amount of dopamine that we used to get going 15-20 years ago is nothing to what we're getting right now. Right now is a massive amount of dopamine, and it's all because of these addictive things, be it drugs and games and all that kind of stuff. So we should try to restrict ourselves from being addicted. Maybe playing once in a while is not too bad, but spending hours, our kids right now, they don't want to do housework. Yeah, they'd rather be upstairs in their room gaming, yeah, or on social media. Social media plays a massive part. Like I said, the amount of dopamine you're getting by social media, it's unbelievable. We can be scrolling for hours and hours and hours, and maybe on TikTok, and we know there's no benefit in this, and we're not stopping because we think to ourselves that, what, if I stop now, I might miss like an important kind of video or a message. So that's how bad it's got, and we really want to remove ourselves from that. And I hope this video has been really helpful, and I hope to see you in the next one.